Well, I also spoke with U.S. Representative Jim Hagedorn earlier today, who said that isn't the whole story, that he is holding the EPA's feet to the fire to fix a system that has long been misused before the Trump administration. Here's our conversation.
When the president came out with his policy a few weeks ago where he said we're going to basically buy back gallons, have at least 15 billion gallons of ethanol blended, I came out and said that was a good thing. But then the other day, the EPA put out a proposed supplemental rule, and I said, you know what, there's some ambiguity there. I think they need to revisit that. And so I'm here holding the EPA's feet to the fire on this ethanol deal because it's very important we get it squared away for our farmers.
These waivers, from the information I've gotten, make it sound like it's all good for big oil companies through the Trump administration and the Ag Department and it's no good for our farmers. That's not the whole story.
Well, the waivers are supposed to go to small refiners, but they've been kind of misused, misapplied, I guess you'd say. And so many of us, I signed on to a bill that would have transparency in that process. Again, that was with Cullen Peterson, a Democrat. I'm on the Biofuels Caucus. We're doing everything we can to get this thing implemented the way Congress intended to make sure there's demand for ethanol. But these things that basically, are in the rearview mirror because the president a couple of weeks ago came out with his policy, and his policy was that this was all going to be fixed up and we were going to have 15 billion gallons blended. And there is some question, though, as to whether or not the EPA's proposed supplemental regulation will do exactly what's said. And so we're monitoring that. I've told the White House they should reissue that. And so I think we're in the process of getting things resolved. But, these small refiner waivers have been misapplied for many years, and we have to make sure that doesn't happen anymore.
You were in Minnesota over the weekend at a farm.
Yeah, I was actually on several farms over the weekend. I started with the Minnesota Farm Bureau President Kevin Papp. He said, obviously, the ethanol program, we get that squared away and moving forward. That's very important. That's kind of issue number one. Issue number two is to get the free trade agreement with Canada and Mexico passed, because that's going to help us build momentum for other free trade agreements with China, Vietnam, and other countries. And right now, I mean, if people on the other side of the aisle want to help farmers, the most important thing they can do is encourage Speaker Pelosi to give us vote on what's called the USMCA, that free trade agreement with Canada and Mexico. That'll really help our farmers. I was the first elected official in the state of Minnesota to come out for that, and we're promoting it each and every day.
All right, Congressman Jim Hagedorn from Washington, D.C.